And sometimes you hear a story that is so moving and inspiring, you never forget it.
Yeah, like the one Laura Schroff wrote back in 2011 called An Invisible Thread, which detailed her lifelong friendship with a disadvantaged young boy she met just by chance.
Laura and that boy, Maurice Mazik, who's now a grown man with a family of his own, were guests on the show in 2012, and their story brought us both to tears.
It sure did. Well, their story inspired countless others to share theirs with Laura. Well, now she's compiled many of them in her new book. It's called Angels on Earth, a collection of real-life connections and acts of selflessness.
Laura's here to tell us about two of those stories, along with her dear friend and ours, psychologist Dr. Dale Atkins. You guys actually met here at our studio.
We actually did.
Isn't that sweet? Hoda and I were reading the book this morning, and in tears, I couldn't stop crying, but then I couldn't stop reading too. So I just, and why? First of all, congratulations. Second of all, why does it, when we're sobbing like that, does it make us happy, Dan?
It makes us happy because we identify and we see if they can do it, I can do it. And we realize that the sadness and all the things that are difficult in the world that we feel powerless about, we do feel that we have power and we can make a difference. And that's why.
There was one story that both Kath and I read, Laura, and it's about a young girl who was a teenager who didn't have a lot of money, and she decided to sponsor a child that you see
She wanted a sweater,
in a magazine.
though. Remember that? She wanted a sweater.
Yeah, but tell us a little bit about her story.
She wanted a sweater.
Yeah.
And she was actually looking through Women's Day magazine, and then she came across the ad to sponsor a child. And she thought, this is what I want to do.
Through the Christian Children's Fund.
Absolutely. And for 10 years, she corresponded with Hippolito in Guatemala.
Sent $15 a month. Her hard-earned money she sent.
Yes, and she didn't have much money.
Yeah.
No,
This
she
was
didn't.
really out of her need that she sent it.
And really not knowing if this was making a difference. And then when Hippolito came to the United States and was going to Georgetown University, he was determined to track down this woman and to thank her for how she changed his life and helped him achieve his dream.
Think about this. I mean, she saw him as a little 9-year-old in a picture, wrote him letters he wrote about his life on the farm, and then afterwards they just lost contact. And this kid tracked her down and found her, got his doctorate degree, and said that it was in her honor.
He dedicated it to her because he said that little $15 a month actually paid for 3/4 of his entire his education, all the way through becoming a doctor.
Yeah. And picture that. This is one tiny chapter in the book. So as you flip, there's another one and another one. There was another one that we wanted to talk about.
The other one is the babysitter, and that's another sweet story. And, you know, all the chapters, I love them all. They're all unique. They're all special. But this particular one, she was her name's Mary Faulkner. She was a real estate agent. A young mother came in with an infant child looking for an apartment and also looking for a babysitter. And Mary said she'd help her out. And she ended up babysitting for Santino for 4 years. And then the mother abruptly moved to Hawaii. But then when Santino was in kindergarten, she could no longer care for him. Mary kind of saved him, brought him back home. And by the time he was in 2nd grade, he was adopted. And he graduated high school in June. He's a whiz with a computer. He hopes to go to college. And she changed his life.
Just a chance, right, Dale?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's one act of kindness. Now, these are wonderfully large and life-saving acts of kindness. Small acts of kindness also change lives. Giving someone a compliment, asking someone if you can buy their groceries for them, holding the door for someone, saying to someone who's a new coworker how you can be helpful, make them feel comfortable, talking to somebody at a party who looks alone and on their own, giving somebody a flower, not complaining.
Just
not complaining.
Letting people
hold the door for somebody when you're getting on an elevator.
People feel your compassion. What happens is we feel what is now known as a helper's high when we help other people. Because endorphins are released in the brain, and the pleasure center is ignited when we give. When we read the stories that Laura has written, we feel that it's possible to change the world in a positive way.
If you want to feel good, read Laura's book. It's called Angels on Earth.
And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. Thanks, Dale.
You're a living testimony to how kindness can change lives. You too, Dale.